welcome back to my Navigating Life After Loss series. I'm your host. My name is Helen, and in today's episode, The Art in Living Fully, How Active Healing Transforms Recovery, we're diving deep into the art of living, a subject that is very close to my heart. This is episode 4, and for me, possibly the most important conversation we've had so far. Today, we're exploring the idea that healing and recovery aren't just passive experiences, they require intention, effort, and an active approach to our health and well-being. I'll be sharing my own journey after head injury, where I learned to truly heal and reach our maximum potential. We have to engage with our own recovery process. From meditation and breath work to the transformative power of cold exposure, these practices for me became not just daily routines, but essential parts of my life. If you've ever faced a challenging time and wondered how to find strength and renewal, this episode is for you. So let's get started. So this episode is about mastering the art and living and how this is a never-ending story. So my personal story was I'd been in a road traffic accident. I'd sort of lost my ability to cook healthy meals, and I was eating a lot of processed food. I was spending a lot of time indoors, and my lifestyle was quite unhealthy. And as a consequence of it wasn't helping me to progress and move forward from the head injury. So me and my husband were watching the television. One morning it had come on, and there was a Dutch gentleman there who was giving the viewers an experience of his breath work. This gentleman's called Wim Hof, and he promotes the healing powers of the cold and breath work. There's 3 pillars to the Wim Hof method, and that's breathwork, cold exposure, and commitment. We took part in that breathwork round, and then from that, we were sort of hooked and we felt the benefits from it straight away. So we downloaded a 30-day program. I did anyway. So the program was around breathwork and cold exposure, and it was a graded approach where you logged your results, and for 30 days you would get from not being able to get into the shower to being able to do 2 minutes by gradually increasing it 5 seconds at a time. So this was what I followed, and at the end of the 30 days I was able to stand in the shower for 2 minutes, and I'd started the breath work as well. But let's just focus on one thing at a time. Let's focus on the cold. So I immediately started to feel the benefits of the cold. I felt I had mental alertness, and I call it my factory reset. So when you have a phone and it's got bugs and it's running slow and it's got files and stuff that shouldn't be there, that's what it's like. You factory reset your phone. It's back to how it was when it came out the factory, and then that's how I feel that my brain is. It's like a factory reset. So let me just read out some of the benefits of cold water therapy. There's lots of information out there about cold water therapy. Okay. So cold water therapy. So this encompasses methods like ice baths, cold showers, and cryotherapy, and it offers a variety of health benefits that are supported by scientific research. So physically, it's particularly effective in reducing inflammation and muscle soreness because it constricts the blood vessels, which helps in quicker recovery, especially for athletes. It also improves circulation through the process of vasoconstriction, followed by vasodilation, which enhances metabolism by activating brown fat tissue and boosts immune function by increasing white blood cells. So mentally, cold therapy has been shown to improve mood by increasing the release of noradrenaline, a neurotransmitter that enhances mood and reduces symptoms of depression. It also increases resilience and stress tolerance by conditioning the body's stress response, and enhances focus and mental clarity by promoting the release of adrenaline and noradrenaline, leading to heightened alertness. These benefits highlight cold therapy's unique role in promoting both mental clarity and physical recovery, while also offering distinct advantages in metabolic health and immune function. So this information's been taken from various studies that are concerned about either mental or physical health and the effects of cold therapy. While cold exposure offers many benefits, it's obvious that it must be approached with caution, and it can be quite a shocking experience. So it is important that if you have any underlying health problems, that you speak to whoever it is who provides you support with your health about how appropriate this might be. But for me, it was an absolute lifeline, and I have witnessed it myself. So a cold shower, I have a cold tub out the back in the garden, and then I also dip in the sea as well. So there's a small group of us dip in the sea, and I've been that person myself, and I've saw others who have come along and their heads really full, all stuff that's going on. And within a couple of minutes, definitely for me, of being in the sea, you can just feel that relief and feel that release. It's sort of like enforced mindfulness because you cannot think about anything else when you think about cold. So, whatever I've had going on in my life, in my head, as soon as I get in there, it just drifts away. And I also went through a period where I had a lot of stress going on in my life, and I was quite anxious about all the stuff that I had going on. And I had a bathtub in the back garden, and I would be in the tub up to 3 times a day because my mind was whirring. I would be worrying about things that I had no control over, that were probably a bit blown out of proportion. And when people were trying to say that to me, I couldn't hear it. I was just so preoccupied by these doom thoughts that I had. And as soon as I got in the cold, they're gone. They're gone. And yes, they might come back again, hence why I was 3 times a day. But that really helped me to manage that on my own. And I've seen it in other people as well, like I've said, how it can totally just give you that factory reset. And when you do, or if you do decide to start cold water therapy, it's really important that you follow this graded approach that I talked about earlier, where you gradually expose yourself. Like, don't go jumping in off a cliff in cold water or anything like that. Just gradually expose yourself to it. And how I started was in the shower. I would have a shower, a warm shower, and at the end, I would just turn it down. Just start trying to turn it down. I couldn't even turn it down to begin with. And that was in the summer. So obviously, the water is influenced by the temperature outside. So in the summer, it's actually warmer. It can be by about 10 degrees. So it was a case of trying to get it onto cold, and then I could maybe do a short burst, and then using the app that I talked about before, I was able to extend that stay and slowly build up a tolerance to it. And sometimes you have to follow your body as well, because our bodies can fluctuate and our temperature can fluctuate. And it's important that you follow that. And if you start to feel shivery or cold when you're in there, for me, I don't think you should be in there. I think that's when you should get out. You shouldn't go that far. And it's funny because the showers, you have a tendency to think you've been in longer than you have because time slows down. So it's good to have a timer for that, to know where you are and to push forward. But it's also good to keep an eye on the time if you do ever dip in open water, because when you stay in for extended periods of time, you can start to get lulled into a false sense of security, and you can think, oh wow, I'm dealing with this really well. I can stay in a little bit longer. And no, it's, you don't want to stay in there until you actually feel cold once you've gone past that 2 minute period, because your body has pulled all of the blood supply away to protect your body. But then when you get out, the blood then starts to run through the cold blood vessels again, and you can get what you call an after drop. So you really have to be mindful of this. I've heard people say a minute for every degree. But then other people say that's not hard and fast. So I think you just have to go with what you think is right and what your body is. In the winter, when it's like 4, 5 degrees, it's rare for me personally that I would stay in longer than 8 minutes because it's just so cold. And then when you're outdoors, you have to get changed outdoors so that you don't get into warmth. You have to actually warm your body up yourself, and you can take tubs of water to put your feet in to help warm up, a hot water bottle to put inside your clothing or to wrap your clothing up in, and some kind of dry robe or heavy coat that you can get changed and you can possibly wear afterwards as well. So there are things you can do to help you try and manage that, but it's really important that all of that is done with a bit of caution. It's not ever easy getting in. People don't walk into the sea and say, "Oh, isn't this lovely?" No, there's screaming, there's shouting, and making all different kinds of noises as we get in to try and manage the breath. And it takes a couple of minutes to get that release, to get that relief. But it's it it's uncomfortable, and it brings a discipline with it because it's uncomfortable every day. I'm now facing an uncomfortability, and I know that I can face and do things that are uncomfortable to me, and that gives me inspiration to carry on with my day as well as the factory reset. And when we are getting in there, we all focus on that feeling we're going to get afterwards, whether that be the tub, whether that be the sea, or whether that be the shower. So even though I'm already in the shower, I'm stood in there, I'll still sometimes have a little mental battle where I'll think, "Oh, I don't think I need one today. I'm not going to bother." And then I think, no, this is the commitment that I've made. This is what I'm going to do. So yes, it does. It brings about a kind of resilience, but with that is all those benefits to the mind as well. Some people, to introduce themselves to water, will put their hands in a bowl of ice water, or their feet, or their face, and they'll use that to introduce cold water to themselves. And because I then started this breathwork and cold water journey, I then started to be more conscious of what I ate and the amount of processed food that I was eating. So I'd fallen into this trap through the head injury of not being bothered, because cooking and meal preparation, it's a very much a cognitive event. You have to plan and organize what you're going to buy from where, making sure you have all the ingredients, then preparing all the food, then cooking all the food. And for me, a lot of it was exhausting. I couldn't, I found it hard to plan my meals. I found it hard to make sure I had everything in, and I wasn't interested, so I'd just get to being hungry and then think, oh, what can I have that's quick and easy, that's going to satisfy this hunger. And then through the breath work and the cold, I started to pay more attention to what I was eating. I actually noticed that what I ate or drank the day before, or even on the morning if I'd had a cup of coffee, that could affect my breath work and how long I was able to hold for. So what I started to do was order like a seasonal veg box. So then I'm introduced to foods I've never been introduced to before, and had to learn different ways to cook and prepare these foods. So it's changed our diet as a family. We eat a lot more different foods now, and not my youngest though. He's quite resistant, but he'll get there. And yes, it's a case of paying attention to herbs and foods because of what they could bring to me in my body, as opposed to, so food started to turn into a medicine. It was about thinking about food in a different way, to make sure that I got all the things that I needed to help me to feel strong and better and well. So then, through the TV show that we watched and the app that we started, that was the cold, but then there was also a breathwork component to it. And I think when we did it on the TV, it was like 20 deep breaths and then a breath hold, and then like kind of breathing in and a clench. And we both, like I said before, said we really got a lot out of it. We felt a real mental clarity, and it was something that my husband especially wanted to get into straight away. So he was practicing straight away, and then that kind of brought me into it as well. And before I knew it, we were practicing every day. Our ability to hold our breath became longer, and that's when I'm saying sometimes in the morning when I had a coffee, I could tell in the breath work that I'd had a coffee because I couldn't hold as long as I could when I hadn't had a coffee before. So it made me aware of all things like that. And again, it set me up for the day. It gave me this sense of well-being and mental clarity. And it just made us feel so good and so positive. And what I love about these three things and the meditation I'm going to get into is they're all completely accessible. And no, these might not suit other people. That's fine. Look for your thing. I'm just talking about what worked for me. And they've been a real lifeline. They're free. I don't have to leave the house to do it. Yes, you can join groups. You can do it with other people. You can join clubs and, engage in these things with other people, which is amazing. You can, but you can also do it on your own. It's totally accessible. There's lots of guides and things on YouTube that you can, have a look at and see how you feel about them. And that's basically what I do. And the breath work has now began to evolve. So it's 4 years now that we've been practicing, and we just really did the Wim Hof. We tried some other ones, but then I've recently been exposed to conscious breath work, and this has been another level up. This brings so much mental clarity, so much a sense of well-being, and the breath work has really naturally morphed into meditation as well, because when I have that feeling, I feel much more willing to engage in meditation practice. But back to breath work, I'd like to read out a little thing I've prepared about breath work and the mental and physical benefits of it. So breath work, which encompasses varying breathing exercises and techniques, has been extensively studied for its positive effects on both mental and physical health. And here are some of the known benefits supported by published research. Breathwork offers a range of mental and physical health benefits, including reduced anxiety and stress, improved emotional regulation, enhanced cognitive function, better cardiovascular health, increased lung capacity, and improved sleep quality. These benefits are supported by a growing body of research published in reputable scientific journals. Incorporating breathwork into daily routines can be a powerful tool promoting all over well-being. So there's a bit of a theme here coming up between the cold therapy and the breath work. This feeling of well-being, lowering cortisol, improving mood, and obviously this is going to continue with the meditation as well. So yes, the breath work, it naturally started to incorporate for me gratitude meditation. So when you've done the breathing, you then do the breath hold. And during that time, I would just naturally start to give gratitude for my life. And what I found was that it really eased the way into meditation. It does something to the brain. I don't know what it raises the vibration or the frequency, and it just brings about a more positive mood and makes it easier to go into that meditation space for me with a calmer mind. So my gratitude is a lot about being grateful for my home, for having shelter, for having nutritious food to eat, for having good quality water to drink, for being able to do these practices, for having my health, for having my family. And I thank each member of my family for their qualities that they have and why I love living with them, and why, and it's all genuine as well. I don't make things up. I look for things that are really genuine, and then I just find this peace inside myself, and then I find it easier to quieten my mind. So quieting the mind for me, sometimes people say, I can't meditate because I can't stop my thoughts. And it was a comment I saw somewhere, and somebody had said, well, you can't unless you're dead. Because being human, one of the side effects of being human is having this endless stream of thoughts. And yes, the less we engage in them, the less they kind of come up, but we can't stop the thoughts that we have coming into our head. There's that exercise, isn't there, where people say, don't imagine a white elephant, and then you fight off the thought of the white elephant, and eventually it just pops in and you can't help it. So it's about recognizing that we can't stop our thoughts, and but to become an observer, a conscious observer of those thoughts, and to resist the urge to engage with the thought and literally just let it pass. Some people visualize a leaf on a stream, some people visualize letting go of balloons, and some people, I've heard people say about being at a train station, the thought comes in on a train and letting it pass. And there's lots, whatever works for you. And it's just about acknowledging the thought has come and I've let it go. And sometimes you don't even realize you're thinking, you'd be so deeply engrossed and think, oh no, I'm thinking about not thinking. And I used to get annoyed with myself, but it is without judgment. It's not a task to have zero thoughts. It's a task to quiet and to give the mind an opportunity to quieten down and to stop that constant influx of never ending thoughts and scenarios. And it's about calming those right down. And sometimes when I come into meditation and my mind's whizzing and whirring, and I'm finding it hard to calm it down. And sometimes, if that is the case, I'll focus on a part of my body. So I'll maybe focus on my big toe, and I'll really try and focus in on my big toe. How does it feel? Can I locate it? Can I feel it? Can I feel a pulse in it? And because you can only think about one thing at a time. So when you're focusing on that part of your body, which is grounding, it then allows the mind to let go, to stop the constant influx of thoughts. And sometimes, like I said, I would come into meditation with such a whirring mind that I would, once the meditation had been completed, would feel that sense of calm, that sense of relaxation, and think, wow, is that how I normally went about my day? Is that with all those thoughts whirring around? And this, it's kind of like a factory reset again. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to read out the health benefits of meditation. So, meditation is a practice with roots in various spiritual and wellness traditions. It has been extensively studied for its wide-ranging mental and physical health benefits. The following are some of the key benefits, including reduced anxiety, stress, and depression, improved emotional well-being and cognitive function, enhanced immune response, lower blood pressure, better sleep quality, and pain reduction. These benefits are supported by a substantial body of research published again in leading scientific journals, making meditation a powerful tool for enhancing overall health and well-being. So what I really want people to recognise is that healing and well-being are active experiences. They're not passive experiences. They're not something somebody else can do to you, somebody else can give to you. There are things we have to do ourselves. And this for me was about taking control of my health. So I had really slipped into quite a poor state of health. I was relying on pharmaceutical drugs because the brain fog and the different symptoms that I had from the road traffic accident. And then I was dealing with the long-term effects of that medication. So for me, with my healthcare provider, I had a chat and I gradedly started to come off them. Obviously, this isn't for everybody. This is what happened to me. So through the breathwork, the cold and the meditation, I now don't need to sleep so much through the day. The fatigue has totally gone. I'm sleeping better at night. That's just one example of something that I've noticed. It's it's been the best thing I've ever done. It's taking responsibility and taking control of my own health. So this is a ongoing journey. This isn't something that is a quick fix. It's not something that you will notice immediate benefits when you find whatever it is that gives you those feel good factors. For me, it's an ongoing journey. Just because I did it last week, it doesn't mean that I don't need to do it this week, or because I did it yesterday, it's not needed today. It is needed for me. It's every day. It's a continuous journey. And I remember once years ago, as part of my rehab, I was talking to a therapist, and he'd asked me what was my self-care routine. And I really didn't know what he was talking about. And I said, well, I like a warm bath. And it was like, and it made me realize that I didn't really have anything. I didn't have anything in my toolkit to be able to bring them out whenever I was under pressure, because life is up and down. It is like a roller coaster, sometimes more than others, and sometimes for some people more than others. But we need our own coping strategies to be able to deal with this. And this isn't the be all and end all. There's so much more about meeting, connecting with like-minded people, about sharing spaces with people who understand what it is that you've gone through, but which I have done all those things. But for me, this part of my journey was about taking control, being involved in my own active healing. Healing is active; it's not a passive experience. So, my one of my children had been away. He has a very healthy well-being routine, and when he went away and he came back and he was like, oh, I've not done it for 4 or 5 days and I've really fell off. And I was saying, well, that's okay, because this is for life. This isn't short term. You just need to get back on it again. And I guess a lot of thing about discipline is about routine, and then when that routine slips, it can take quite a lot of discipline to get back into it again. But I guess if you do it with other people, that can help, because then you can keep each other going a bit. So yes, I just wanted to get that point across, that this is an active journey and it's an ongoing journey. And I really would like to invite people to take a look at their own days. How much time do you really spend scrolling on your phone? How much time do you spend sitting in front of a television or on a laptop? And it's quite surprising. And we always say we don't have enough time. And I get it that these things help us to wind down as well, which they do. But that's this passive engaging the brain in a way that helps us to tune out, which has its purpose. But it is about recognizing there's active things that we can do, whether that's again exercise, art, meditation, trying new experiences, get a paddleboard, go out for a paddle, go for walks in nature. It's actively we need to actively be involved in this. So I invite people, you might have to get up a little bit earlier on a morning, but I invite people to try one thing and to see how it makes them feel, and to enjoy that feel good factor of being in charge of your own life and being in charge of your own well-being, your own happiness. It's so important. My journey started 4 years ago, and it's constantly evolving, constantly changing. And what I've found, I think there is a change in trend as well, perhaps since COVID, when people started to think more about outdoors and nature and taking responsibility for their own well-being. There is a big influx of well-being activities, and you attract like-minded people when you, I think, what is it they say, when you bang the beat of your drum, then your tribe will come. And it's through dipping in the sea and doing those things that I love, like sunrises, sunsets. You then meet other people who find the magic in it all. and it's pretty life changing. So we've reached the end. Thank you so much for watching this and for being a part of this journey for me. In this episode, The Art in Living Fully, how active healing transforms recovery, I feel like I've explored the crucial role of being active in your own healing journey. If you found this episode valuable, please share and leave a comment below. Tell me what it is that changed things for you. Was it something that I've mentioned, or was it something different? And let's share these ideas and let other people be inspired by our ideas as well. Engaging with my podcast helps other people to see it as well. People who need to see it. If you like what you've seen and you want to try and inspire a friend, please share. Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so that you never miss another episode. And together we can make healing an active and empowering journey. Thank you so much if you made it to the end. Goodbye.